questions of your NCERT. Starting 17 questions. Question number 1 to 17. Did you solve that? Question number 1 to 17. Exercise 5.1.
Yes, sir.
Any doubts in that portion?
Not really, sir.
No doubt, sir. Not yet.
Any doubts, Prashil?
No, sir.
All right, yeah. So I'm starting from this section. Again, this is a second type of questions which they will ask in continuity. So in that kind of question, they will tell you that the given question is continuous at some point. So this question is continuous at x is equals to 0. And for that matter, we have to calculate the value of some constant in that particular question. That means they are saying that this function is continuous at x is equals to 0, which is LHL for this question at x is equals to 0, RHL and value of limit, they all are equal. For value of limit, they have given, for value of limit that they have given that it is f0 is equals to k. We have to find LHL and RHL, and it can be done only by solving for LHL or RHL, one of these two. If you solve one of these two and you will equate this portion with this f0, you will get your answer. So let's find LHL. So the problem is here we are having two pieces, that is called piecewise definition. When you make a curly bracket and when you write expression along with domain, so that will that we call a piecewise definition. So here in one piece uh, they have given us that x is for x is equals to 0, we are getting k. For the second piece, for x is not equal to 0, we are getting this part. So let's take this part. So you can ask me that where do we find LHL and for what range or for what value of x we will find RHL, because for x is not equal to 0, the expression is same. So yes, for LHL and RHL we will use the same expression, because they they are saying this, like this function is like this: at x is equals to 0 you are having a certain value, but on the right side of 0 and on the left side of 0 you are having this particular expression. All right, like I'm drawing a graph of this part, not exactly the graph, I'm taking one of the example. This can be, this is one of the example of the above kind question, in which at to the left of x is equals to 0 the same function exists, to the right of x is equals to 0 the same function exists, but at x is equals to 0 you are not getting the value on the function, you are getting it somewhere else. Or this can be anything here. If it is equal, that means the value of k is equal, that means this k is also lying on the k, so we can call the on the curve, so we can call this as a continuous graph. All right, so that's why I'm telling you that for LHL and RHL you have to use the exact same expression. So I'm writing this: limit h tends to 0 f of 0 minus h. That means limit h tends to 0, 0 minus h I'm writing here, 1 minus cos 4 times of 0 minus h upon 8 times of 0 minus h square. So you can solve this part like this: limit h tends to 0, this is 1 minus, yes, minus cos 4 times of minus h. So cos of minus x will always give you cos x, a positive value. So I can write this as cos 4h divided by this is 8 times of h square. Yes. So now I'm going to use one of the limit. So some important limits are here. I'm writing important limits. So you have to memorize the results of these limits. So if you are writing sine ax upon ax, limit x tends to 0, that will give us 1. Secondly, limit x tends to 0, tan x, tan ax I can write upon ax, this will also give us 1. Limit x tends to 0, 1 minus cos ax upon, this is we can write ax square. So this will give us a value which is 1 by 2. So I'm taking the example for this part, like limit x tends to 0, 1 minus cos x upon x square, 1 times of x to the power 2. So for this we have to solve using this part. So if I use this formula for this question, so the value of a is 1, so at both places it is 1. So by formula it have to, this expression have to give us a value which is equals to 1 by 2. So let's check it out by applying a formula for cos 2x. Cos 2x I can write is uh, 1 minus 2 sine square x, but we have to use uh, if here it is 2x, so in at here we will write x, and if I divide this 2x by 2, so this x we have to divide by 2 as well. So yes, 2 sine square x by 2 is equals to 1 minus cos x. So 1 minus cos x I can write 2 sine square x by 2 divided by x square. Now, in this part, we have seen that sine ax upon ax will give you 1. That means if you are having 2 here, you have to maintain 2 with x here as well. If you are having 1 by 2 here, you have to maintain 1 by 2 at the place of in the place of denominator. So that's why we will write this as limit. I'm giving you one example so that in the next term we can use the result. This is sine x by 2 into sine square x by 2 is sine x by 2 into sine x by 2 divided by x and x. I can write separately. Now 1 by 2 is multiplying with this x, so we have to multiply 1 by, we have to maintain 1 by 2 with this x as well. 1 by 2 is multiplying with this part as well, so I have to write this. Again, this limit can be applied here and this can be applied here. This will give you 1, this will give you 1. So 2 from this part, divide by 2, this will give you 1 into this is 1 by 2, and this will give you 1. So you can write answer is equals to 1 by 2. All right, that means if you are having, that means if you are having 1 minus cos ax, then in the denominator you have to have ax whole square, then only you will get 1 by 2 as your answer. So I'm writing, I'm changing this part accordingly. Limit h tends to 0. This is 1 minus cos 4h. That means we have to create 4h whole square. 4 square will give you 16 but you are having 8 here. That means you have to multiply this expression by 2. Then you will get 1 by 2. The answer of this part would be 1 by 2. So 2 is here and 1 by 2 for that, and you can cancel out. The answer would be equal to 1. All right. So if you have any doubts,
Yes, sir.
till here, you could ask me. Last two steps. Yes, Prashil. Last two steps are I'm sure that if I'm having a with this x in the cos x in the numerator section, then we have to maintain a with the x in the denominator as well. That's why I have to change. If I want to write the answer of this part as 1 by 2, I have to change this part according to this one. So this part is having 4 with h at the place of h. Here it was x, here it is h. So at the place of x, we are having h. So 4 times of h, that means at the place of a we are having 4. That means 4, if I'm substituting here, so I have to substitute 4 here as well. That means 4x whole square. Then only this expression will give you the value which is equals to 1 by 2. But 8 cannot be written as whole square of a 4. So I have to convert this expression via multiplying by 2 and dividing by 2. So this 2 into 8 will convert this denominator into 16h square, and that 16h square I can write 4h whole square. And this numerator wala 2 will be as it is. All right, Prashil. Sarthak and Aniket, any doubts, beta?
No doubt, sir.
Please take a screenshot of this question, because I have written some properties here and you will going to use these properties over and over again. So please write these properties, or please take a screenshot so that I can solve for RHL. Nice, Prashil. Sarthak, Aniket, please take a
Yes, sir.
screenshot.
I understood.
I've taken.
All right, here. So I'm removing that part because I have to calculate RHL here. All right, here for RHL, as I told you that the formula for the RHL is f of 0 plus h, because at the place of a we are having 0. So 0 plus h. So I'm writing limit h tends to 0, f of 0 plus h. Again, I have to substitute 0 plus h in the same expression here. At the place of x, I have to substitute. That means 1 minus cos for 0 plus h divided by 8 times of, if anybody wants to say something or anything. Yes, so I was doing that. If, because when you unmute yourself, some noise is coming from that side. All right, I'm substituting this 0 minus h here. So 1 minus cos 4 times of 0 plus h upon 8 times of 0 plus h whole square. Yes. So this is limit h tends to 0. 0 plus h, that means cos 4 times of h divided by 8h square. That means limit h tends to 0. 1 minus the same thing which we did here, we have to do here. I'm multiplying this part with 2 and dividing with 2 as well. So this is 2 times of 1 minus cos 4h upon 4h whole square. This will give you 1 by 2. So this is 1. All right. So we got 1 for the RHL, one for the LHL, as they already told us that this expression, this particular expression is continuous. That means LHL, RHL, and value of limit is equal. So value of limit is K, and LHL, and for RHL and LHL we are getting 1. So we can say that here the value of K would be equal to 1. The value of K is 1. Any doubts for that part? Any doubts for this question, beta? Not every time you have to solve, not every time you have to solve, uh, not every time you have to solve for LHL and RHL if they give you a question like this in which they have already told us that the function is, uh, I'm saying that continuous, and for f0 you are getting some constant. So for the rest section, that means for the LHN and RHL part, you have to solve either of either for LHL or for RHL. That means you have to solve for once, because they have already told you that this expression is continuous. So there is no point to calculate LHL and RHL twice, because we will get the same answer for that. So that is a second point which I want to make. So if you have any doubts till here, please tell me by unmuting yourself. Otherwise, we will move forward by taking another question. Yes, Aniket, Sarthak, Prashal. Doubts, beta?
No doubt, sir.
No doubt, sir.
Okay, let's take another question. Please try to solve this question. Take your complete time. Complete, that means 3, 4, 5 minutes. And please let me know just by writing in the text message. I'm waiting for your answer. Prashal, we will check. Let's wait for others to answer.
So I'm not able to get the answer.
Okay. Aniket.
Sir, I'm in the same category as Sarthak.
All right here. So I'm solving this part. So for x is equals to 0, they are saying it is continuous, and f0, we are getting 1. This is clear. Now we will calculate LHL or RHL. Hence, since this question is continuous, so we do not need to calculate both this LHL or RHL. We will calculate only RHL or LHL. So I'm calculating RHL, which is limit h tends to 0, f of 0 plus h. And for that part, LHL and RHL, I will use this particular function. So limit h tends to 0, f of 0 plus h, I'm substituting 0 plus h, that means sine square a times of 0 plus h upon 0 plus h whole square. Again, this is limit h tends to 0. This is sine square ah upon this is h square. Sine square means if sine square x is written, that means sine x into sine x. So I can write limit h tends to 0 sine ah upon, in the denominator we are having h, so I can write sine ah here upon h. You can write a in the denominator and you can multiply, because sine ah upon h will give you 1. So here as well, so when you apply the limit, this is your a. You cannot apply limit over this portion because a do not have any h associated with it. So sine ah upon ah, limit h tends to 0 will give you 1. This is sine ah upon h will give you 1 into a. So this is a into a is a square. So yes, RHL we are getting a square, LHL will also we will get a square, and value of limit is 1. That means a square is equals to 1. So for that part, yes, a can have either a plus 1 value or a minus 1 value, and they didn't give any restriction in the question. They have we can so that we can take both the values. That means for a is equals to plus 1, this will be true, and for a is equals to minus 1, this will also be true. All right, so that's why a is equals to 1 and minus 1, both are its answers. So all right, if you have any doubts, if you have any problem, you could ask me. I think it is more clear now, I guess. Sarthak, Aniket, any doubts, beta?
No doubt, so understood.
Yes, sir, understood, sir.
So did you get that mistake which you were doing in before I started solving this question?
Yes, sir, understood.
All right, here. So let's take another question. Yes, solve this question. Prashil, let's wait for Sarthak and Aniket to answer. Prashil, I have to check. I'll check it by solving the question only. Sarthak,
Not sure, sir.
did you get that?
No, sir.
Sarthak, what? Let's start with you only. Then we will move to Aniket's answer. Sarthak, what is the biggest problem you are facing to solve this question? Like, why are you not able to approach this question? We have studied some forms, right? Some forms here. You have taken the screenshot. In that forms, we have written some three forms in which Sine ax upon ax is equals to 1 was the first one. And if you know this form, you will be able to solve this question. So Sarthak, let's start with you. What did you apply it to solve this question?
No, sir. I know the what you've written, right? Sin ax by ax when approaching zero is equal to one,
Mm-hmm.
right? How do I apply it to this one?
Yes, because they are telling us that function is continuous at x is equals to 0, right? So
Ye-
what do you understand by this continuous at x is equals to 0 and the function? What you what you can interpret by this given question? Like for the
Sir,
continuity, there are three essential things, right?
yes, sir.
For x is equals to 0, at the place of a we are having 0. So LHL is equals to RHL is equals to F0, correct?
Correct, sir.
So value of limit would be value of limit. That means when you substitute x is equals to 0 in the function, what you are getting?
So it's k.
Hmm?
So if you substitute in sin 2x by 5x, you'll get
Why
sin 0
would
by
we
0.
do that, Sarthak? They have given us the exact bifurcation. For x is
Yes,
not equal to 0, we have to apply this expression. For x is equals to 0, we have to use this expression. So x is equal to 0 means you are substituting x is equals to 0 in the function and you will be getting k. In the previous question, we did the same thing. Here we did the same thing. Sarthak.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I said k. First time I said k.
Okay, oh sorry, I didn't heard that. So yes, for F0 we are getting K. Nice. है ना? Up next, secondary, the second thing. From this LHL and RHL, I have told you that when it is given that function is continuous, there is no need to calculate both the LHL and RHL. We will calculate either LHL or RHL. So among these two, what you have chosen?
So we have to solve the first one, right?
Yes,
Uh,
for the LHL part. So you have you chosen this LHL? Did you solve for LHL?
yes, sir. I started, but then like I don't know how to proceed.
Yes, that's why I'm regularly asking smaller parts of the question to you so that uh, you will be able to relate. All right, Sarthak. I'm not questioning your that you got exact answer or not, or why you're not getting the answer. I'm just telling you the process that you have to follow. Like as I told you in previous two questions, first we need to identify for x is equals to 0. They have given something or not. They have given k. So for f is equals to 0, I have written k here. Now, if the function is continuous, we have to calculate LHL, RHL, and the value of k. But as the function is continuous, we will not calculate both the LHL and RHL. We will calculate only one. All right.
Yes, sir.
So just tell me from where I should start. I should solve for LHL. Did you
Yes,
agree
sir.
with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So all right,
Starting from
I'm writing expression for LHL. So how will you write? Limit. Just say it with me. Limit, or what should I
x
write here?
x tending to zero.
Yes,
Uh, so then sine 2h by 5h.
I'm writing the expression first.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir.
Hmm? Yes, now I'm substituting for LHL part. Which piece you should take? The which expression you will take? Can you
Sir,
take
the
this k?
no, I think sir, we should take the sine function, right?
Yes, sine function and the denominator part. So I'm substituting at the place of x, I'm substituting 0 minus h. All right.
Yes, sir.
So I'm substituting sine 2 times of, at the place of x, I'm substituting 0 minus h. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Now we will simplify. This is, this minus sign would be minus 2 times of h, and in the denominator we will be having minus 5h. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So as we all know that sine of minus x is equals to minus sine x. You know that?
Correct, sir.
So sine of minus 2h will give you minus, what's our thing?
My
Minus sine 2h
2h
divided by
minus
minus
5.
5h, right?
Correct, sir.
Limit h tends to 0. Yes, this minus and minus will get cancelled. We can separate this 1 by 5 because we are going to apply this expression. For this part, we have to maintain a, the term which is multiplied by this x, we have to maintain the exact same term. Or you can say that this part and the denominator part would be exactly equal. So here we are having 2h. That means in the denominator we have to create 2h. Right, Sarthak?
Yes, sir.
Now, this is very simple here. Sin h upon h will give you, by applying this limit, h tends to 0, this will give you 1. So 1 by 5 into 1, this is 1 by 5.
Okay, sir.
So the value of k is 1 by 5.
Wait,
Sir,
sir, it should be 2 to 5, right?
oh,
Sir,
sorry. Yes, yes,
uh,
yes. 2 by 5, correct. This is 2 by 5, correct here. अब कर पाओगे सार्थक?
okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
है ना? अगला क्वेश्चन अगर दूंगा तो अप्लाई कर पाओगे?
Yes, sir. I think I'll be able to do it.
Aniket, what about you?
सर मैं एक्चुअली बाहर हूँ आज, तो मेरे पास पेन कॉपी नहीं है, मतलब पेन पेपर।
अच्छा, ठीक है। पर अनिकेत, अगर तुम बाहर हो तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं, ये सब रिकॉर्डेड भी है, ये सब रिकॉर्डेड डलेगा ना उसपे, तो टेंशन क्यों
नहीं
लेना?
सर, वो दिक्कत नहीं है, मैं कह रहा हूँ मैं अभी सीख रहा हूँ, तो आज
हम्म,
मैं वो कर नहीं सकता क्वेश्चंस।
अच्छा ठीक है, कोई नहीं। तो अभी बताइए, अभी ठीक है सब, इतना समझ में आया, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है?
समझ आ गया, सर। सब
हाँ
समझ
जी
आ
सर,
गया।
कोई दिक्कत नहीं।
ठीक है, लेट्स मूव फॉरवर्ड। I'm taking another question which is based on the same concept. Okay, this question number 1 to 10, 9. We have covered all of these 9 questions. Let's move to another page of this worksheet. Yes. Let's start solving this particular kind. It will be new for you. Well, before that, you should solve this part here. As CBSE has announced delay in your exams, we are having ample time that we will going to invest. Uh, Prashil, they will ask these kind of questions like in 2 marks, max 2 marks. I will give you some questions which will consist more marks from this continuity chapter, like 4. But nobody asked 6 mark a question from this chapter, like your exercise 5.1. Solve this question here. Sarthak got k is equals to 0 and Prashil is getting 4 as its answer. Sarthak and Prashil. Okay, let's do that question. For F0, Prashil will start with you this time. For F0, we are getting value which is equals to Prashil.
So
You
0.
have to answer my questions.
We're getting K, sir.
A, all right. Again, they have given us that this function is continuous. That means LHL is equals to RHL. So we will solve for LHL or RHL, whatever you want. So let's take this LHL. 0 minus h. So this is h tends to 0. F of 0 minus h, this is 1 minus cos 2 times of 0 minus h upon 2 times of 0 minus h whole square. Correct, Prashil?
Yes, sir.
So this is giving us limit h tends to 0, 1 minus cos of minus 2 times of h divided by 2 times of minus h square. That means 2 times of h square. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Cos of minus x will give you minus cos x or plus cos x or minus cos x
So plus cos x.
plus. So cos of minus 2h will give you
So 1 minus cos 2h.
bilkul divided by 2 times of h square. We have seen a property, Prashil, in which 1 minus cos ah upon what, Prashil? Ah square will give you 1 by 2, right?
Yes, sir.
So that means if we are having 2 here, so here we have to multiply 2 with h, not with h square. So I have to multiply 2 here and 2 here. So this will give us limit h tends to 0, 2 into 1 minus cos 2h upon 2h whole square. This will give you 1 by 2. So 2 into 1 by 2 will give you 1. That means F0, we are getting K, and this is LHL is 1. So the K is equals to 1. This is our answer. Understood? Prashil, Sarthak, Aniket?
हाँ जी सर.
No, I used the wrong identity.
Yes, absolutely. Prashil,
Yes,
Prashil.
sir. I understood.
So let's move to another question. If you all are understood this question, so let's move to another question. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I'm giving you this question. Solve this question here. Sarthak says continuous. Let's wait for another answer, Sarthak.
Sir, I also got continuous.
Prashal also says it's continuous. So, should I do it or let's move to another question? Because, sorry, for F0 we are getting 0. For LHL part, this is limit h tends to 0, f of 0 minus h. 0 minus h, that means minus h whole square. Sine 1 upon minus h. So minus h square, that means h square minus 1 upon h is minus sine 1 upon h. As I told you, that sine of minus x will give you minus sine x. So this is minus limit h tends to 0 h square into sine 1 upon h. Sine 1 upon h. While by substituting this 0, h is equals to 0, here in this place, sine 1 upon 0 will give you a value in between minus 1 to 1. This will give you a value between minus 1 to 1 because sine x didn't have any other value as any other value apart from these values. Like sine x is having range from minus 1 to 1. Sine never sine cannot achieve a value of 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4, or any other value. But 1 by 2, 1 by 3 you can achieve, but like minus 3 by 2, minus 5 by 7, you will always get a value between minus 1 to 1. That means this expression is oscillatory between minus 1 to 1. So it is oscillating between minus 1 to 1. And when you substitute 0 here, you will get a 0 into an oscillatory. So you will get an answer which is equal to 0. Understood,
Yes, sir.
Karthik?
Yes, sir, got it.
Sarthik, you're seems like you're confused or you're not getting this limit part properly. So if you have any doubts, beta, you could ask me. पूछ लो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. Sarthak?
No, sir, I got it.
Okay. So let's take another question. Let me take a different question. A kind of different question. Yes, this question they will ask as a 4 marker question. If they will ask these kind of question, which I'm starting from today, this time onwards, they will ask these kind of question as a 4 marker question. So start solving this question, please. Anyone? Okay. So LHL we will achieve from here, and the value of the function we will also achieve from here. So if you are getting LHL and value of function from one side, one piece of your function, so I would suggest that because they have given that this function is continuous, so you should calculate only f0, which is 2 into 0 plus 1 upon 0 minus 1. So 1 upon minus 1, which is equals to minus 1. So f0 we are getting minus 1. Now the point is we have to calculate RHL or LHL, because RHL and F0 we are getting from here, and LHL x less than 0, less matlab left side. So LHL we have to calculate from there. So limit h tends to 0, f of 0 minus h. This is limit h tends to 0, f of 0 minus h. So 1 plus k times of, at the place of x I'm writing 0 minus h, which is minus h minus root over 1 minus k times of minus h divided by 0 minus h. This, so limit h tends to 0. This is root over 1 minus kh minus root over 1 plus kh divided by minus h. Now the problem is when you substitute 0 in the numerator, it will give us 1 minus 0 minus root over 1 plus 0. That means 1 minus 1, that is 0 divided by 0. So 0 upon 0, 0 we are getting. So there are certain methods by which we can solve this kind of questions, in which uh, rationalization is one of that method. Now this is a this is acting like a minus, this is acting like b, so a minus b and a plus b. So this will give us root over 1 minus kh whole square minus root over 1 plus kh whole square divided by minus h times of root over 1 minus kh plus root over 1 plus kh. Yes, root over 1 minus kh square will give you 1 minus kh, it will give you 1 plus kh upon minus h times of root over 1 minus kh plus root over 1 plus kh. So this minus will change the expressions signs here. So this is minus 1 minus 1 minus kh is minus 2kh, so limit minus 2kh upon minus h into root over 1 minus kh plus root over 1 plus kh. Substitute this 0 whenever you are seeing any k. So I'm substituting root over 1 minus 0 plus root over 1 plus 0.
So, so forgive me, but I'll have to leave now, sir.
All right, dear Aniket. No worries.
Thank you so much, sir, and sorry for leaving early.
No issues here. This lecture will be uploaded in a day, so you will be able to watch it whenever you want.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Have a nice day.
Okay, bye bye.
Happy New Year.
Thank
So
you.
this
Have
is
a nice
K. K, we are getting the result of this complete section. We are getting K as its output, its value, and it is also equals to F0. So the value of K is equals to -1. So if you have any doubts here, Sarthak and Prashil, any doubts, beta?
no doubt,
No,
sir.
sir, no doubts. I understood this question.
All right, nice. Uh, Sarthak,